It turns out that they were senior FDA officials. Some of them are in my supervisory chain, who were involved in a coordinated attempt to discredit me and to smear my name and to prevent me from giving testimony. The week before I testified, the acting commissioner of FDA invited me to his office and offered me a job in the commissioner's office to oversee the revitalization of drug safety for FDA. I mean, obviously, he had been tipped off by people on the Senate Finance Committee who were sympathetic to FDA's status quo that I was going to be called as a witness. And so to preempt that, he's offering me this job, which basically would have been exile to, a fancy title with no real ability to have an impact.
Secrecy enforced by repression in scientific agencies is a severe threat to public health and safety because it sustains the approval of life-threatening drugs when those decisions couldn't be defended if they were made in the light of day.
The United States is one of only 2 countries that so far has allowed pharmaceutical companies to advertise drugs retail to citizens. And this is the only country that has turned healthcare over to business as much as we have. And of course, businesses are mainly interested in maximizing profits and preparing for the next quarterly report.
PR goes a long way in cleaning up a dirty reputation.
Are the stars out tonight? I don't know if it's cloudy or bright, 'cause I only have eyes for you.
Direct-to-consumer advertising, I think, is a great disservice in general to the American people. We see these wonderful ads of these people, demonstrating their wonderful health, whether they're skating across the ice or they're doing their Tai Chi or whatever it is. And you get this visual impression. And Madison Avenue knows that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so they convey an image and they convey a message. And it creates needs or desires where there really isn't a need or a desire.
Part of the problem in America is that through things like direct-to-consumer advertising, the drug company voice dominates the debate about healthcare. Now, this really narrows the focus onto pharmacological solutions to big public health problems. And the trouble with that is there's an opportunity cost, because all the other solutions, all the other potential treatments, all the other potential prevention strategies are pushed out, are overlooked, are ignored because of the dominance of this rich, powerful voice.
Enter a new era of discovery at Bristol-Myers Squibb, where groundbreaking genetic research is underway.
Winning the Tour de France was a victory for cancer medicines. But Luke, it's just the start of incredible things to come. Imagine, Luke, your medical history. The story of your genes on a card you carry in your wallet. Your doctor sees your cancer coming years before and gives you a daily pill to take that could prevent it. Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine.
This phenomenon of using celebrities is used across the pharmaceutical industry and across many medical conditions. So for the selling of social anxiety disorder, we saw Ricky Williams used as part of the campaign by GlaxoSmithKline. The big problem here is that people often don't know that the celebrity is on the payroll or money from drug companies is indirectly funding that celebrity campaign.
In these ads, you have the visual image, and that conveys one message. Then you have the speaker, who's in the background, who's speaking over this video that's being shown, and they're telling you what this drug is good for. And then at the end, the auctioneer gets on and says, this drug can cause, and they rattle off, 25 different things in 3 seconds, and you're lucky if you hear anything.
Side effects may include nausea, diarrhea, constipation, dizziness, sweating, tremor, sexual side effects, injury, yawn, abnormal vision or sleep.
Direct-to-consumer advertising has just elicited this wave of demand, false demand. And then the doctors are just saying, okay, you want this drug, you want the purple pill, here's your script.
I didn't know
I didn't know.
Your doctor knows about a purple pill called Nexium.
There was a recent study in the Journal of the American Medical Association that showed that if patients mentioned a drug that they'd seen on television to their physician, they were much more likely to be prescribed that drug by the doctor. And drug companies know this. That's why they do it. So I think that, for example, would the Vioxx disaster have been as great and as large in the absence of direct-to-consumer advertising? I submit that the numbers would have been far lower than what they were. That direct-to-consumer advertising was part of what made Vioxx a blockbuster drug.
All I want are nights with less pain and mornings with less stiffness. So I can get out here early and show these clams who's boss.
It's amazing. I'll have people come into my office. Oh, Doc, I saw this advertisement. I want that. Gee, I saw this ad where the stomach is on fire. I need that. My stomach is bothering me. So what it does, it's not a good idea because it's promoting drug therapy when we don't know what the disease is. And that's the problem with a lot of medical practice in our country today. We are too prescription-oriented. Oh, you have a stomach ache? You better take this. You have a headache? You take this. Oh, you're depressed? You take this.
And there's a lot of opposition to this, and a lot of it comes from the medical profession. It says that they are hounded by people who want prescriptions based on the kind of advertising we've all seen on television.
It's relief all day.
The United States has a treaty obligation not to permit their advertising directly to the consumer. And yet this is being done. It's being done for amphetamine. It's being done for methylphenidate, for Ritalin-type drugs. It's being done for Ambien, for sleep drugs. Advertised directly to the consumer, contrary to the U.S. obligations under this treaty. Convention on Psychotropic Substances of 1971.
The information on direct-to-consumer advertising shows that a lot of patients are taking drugs that they don't need because of those ads. But the evidence also shows that the ads increase patient knowledge, and patients will go to their physician asking about a drug or asking about a condition that they might not have inquired about before.
Happy, smart people who are taking drugs and fulfilling their life. It tells you nothing about the drug. There is no educational message here. It is all advertising, and advertising is to sell a product, and that's all it's about.
It costs hundreds of millions of dollars, more than the price of a space shuttle mission.
The truth of the matter is, when money is pouring in to a media outlet, next thing you know, you start getting stories about this breakthrough drug, that breakthrough drug, this wonder drug. It has an effect, no question about it. And boy, there are a lot of advertising dollars going into media these days for pharmaceutical products.
The media is full of stories about the latest medical breakthroughs, and there's a real appetite for more and more news about new medical interventions, possible cures, and a lot of that material gets written by professional ghostwriters for the pharmaceutical industry and then picked up by the news media.
I think the fault is not entirely with the manufacturer. Drug companies are marketing drugs because there are so many new drugs that come out, and not only informed patients but also the physicians need to know about those new products. It's patients themselves who are curious and they want to know more about drugs, and ads are informative.
Doctors often will say, well, I don't pay too much attention to all those drug ads. The truth is, every journal you open is filled with drug ads. Your waiting room has a drug detail man, a fancy word for salesman, waiting in it to see you, and they give you all sorts of gifts and educational materials. And virtually every seminar a doctor may take, and they're required to take these to maintain their hospital privileges and that sort of thing, is paid for by a drug company.
If you look here at the graph on the right, you'll notice a definite increase in efficacy. And that efficacy extended over the following 9 months. So can I have your guarantee that your next 20 prescriptions will be Efestrol?
Okay.
Fabulous.
I'm convinced.
You can keep the pen.
Thank you. Do you have any hats?
They're called detail people. Are they pharmacologists? Do they have PhDs in science? No. They're salespeople. And they're the ones that interface with physicians. In fact, in many cases, The only knowledge that a physician has about how a medication works and what it does is from this salesperson. They could have been an aluminum siding salesman. They could have been a used car salesman, but they're detailed salespeople. Pays a lot of money.